Are you guys still searching for me? Looking all over the Old Testament? All these hints and riddles? Maybe I'm the spiritual rock that followed them that was Moses, huh?
In John 1, does John suggest by using a riddle that God had one person with him, and that was the Son? No, John never states that two persons are together, and does not even allude to it. There are those who desperately want to believe in the pre-existence of Christ, and these individuals will intentionally read into Scripture and twist any passages to fit their presuppositions. Are the same individuals able to find the Son back in the Old Testament as somebody consciously alive, being worshipped, being praised, being honored, being spoken to, or being around the throne with the Father and the angels? No, so they run to riddles like John 1 verse 1 to try and confirm their own biases. However, using riddles to try and force your belief into the doctrine is never a good idea, especially when it does not align with the Old Testament. The argument presented involves a detailed analysis of the Greek terms pros ton theon in John 1 verse 1, and the implications of this phrase in contrast to the preposition para, particularly as they relate to the relationship between the word logos and God. Let us explore the nuances of these Greek terms and their usage in context. John 1 verse 1 and the use of pros. John 1 verse 1 states, "En archi in o logos, ke o logos in pros ton theon, ke theos in o logos." Translated, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, in reference to God, and the Word was God. The preposition pros, when followed by the accusative case, as in ton theon, generally conveys the idea of motion towards or orientation towards something. However, it also carries a broader semantic range, including close relationship, intimate interaction, or connection. In John 1 verse 1, the phrase pros ton theon is understood by many Greek scholars to describe the word's intimate relationship with God. This phrase does not necessarily imply physical proximity, as para would, but rather a deeper relational orientation, signifying closeness or alignment. In Hebrews 2 verse 17 and 5 verse 1, pros is also used. Hebrews 2 verse 17, «Os theophili kath πάντα της αδελφής ομοιοθήνε, ή να ελεήμον γέννητε, και πιστός αρχιερέους τα προς τον Θεόν, εις το ηλάσκεσθε τας αμαρτίας του λαού». Translated, therefore, he had to be made like his brothers in every respect, so that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, ta pros ton theon. Hebrews 5 verse 1, «Πας γαρ αρχιερέης εξ ανθρώπων, λαμβανόμενος υπέρ ανθρώπων, καθίσταται τα προς τον Θεόν, ή να προσφέρει δωρά τε και θυσίας υπέρ αμαρτιών». Translated, for every high priest chosen from among men is appointed to act on behalf of men in matters pertaining to God, to offer gifts and sacrifices for sins. In both verses, pros describes a functional orientation, not the physical presence of the high priest beside God, but rather his role in matters related to or directed toward God. The preposition para, when used with the genitive or dative case, often implies proximity, alongside, or being in the presence of someone. For example, John 1 verse 6, «Εγένετο άνθρωπος απεσταλμένος παρά Θεού, όνομα αυτό Ioannis». Translated, there was a man sent from God, paratheou, whose name was John. Here, para indicates that John the Baptist was sent directly from God's presence. If John 1 verse 1 had used para ton theon, it would emphasize physical proximity or being beside God, rather than the relational or directional nuance conveyed by pros. By using pyros ton theon, John focuses on the intimate relationship and orientation of the Word toward God, emphasizing the unity and relational dynamic, rather than simple physical proximity. The choice of pros over para in John 1 verse 1 reflects the theological depth of the Word's relationship with God. The phrase does not suggest that the Word was merely beside God as a separate entity, but rather in a profound, dynamic, and relational alignment with God. Furthermore, pros allows for a broader interpretation that aligns with the Logos theology of John's Gospel, where the Word is both distinct from and yet fully united with God. This relational understanding goes beyond mere physical location or accompaniment. underscoring the Logos' unique identity as both divine and intimately connected to God. The use of proston theon in John 1 verse 1, as opposed to paraton theon, indicates a relational and directional closeness rather than mere physical presence. This choice emphasizes the word's eternal orientation toward God in intimate fellowship. The preposition pros, as seen in Hebrews 2 verse 17 and 5 verse 1, consistently conveys relational or functional alignment rather than physical proximity, making it theologically precise for John's portrayal of the Logos in John 1 verse 1.
Common sense Christianity. Logos and proston theon.
Maybe I'm the cloud. Maybe I'm behind a shrub or a tree. I'm pretty mysterious, aren't I? Am I a good trickster? Don't I hide really well? You want to play hide and seek?